Given the turmoil that we've seen, obviously, with the trade dispute and the market turmoil, what are your clients and the participants here telling you already in the opening minutes of this summit?
Well, it's the topic of the day. Everyone is asking questions. Everyone is trying to understand what the implications of that, and some concern about the recent movements in the markets and what's going to happen Friday. Clearly, everyone heard that Liu He it's actually traveling to the U.S., which is a positive signal. But it's hard to predict where this will come out. In any case, my personal view is whatever outcome we have, whether we have like some agreement this week or not, I mean, over the medium term, there will be some agreement. Okay, so it may not be immediately, but there will be an agreement. And even after we have an agreement, there will be ups and downs. So I don't think that people should like read into this like there's an agreement, it's all over, now it's going to be like nice.
Well, the words that are coming out are pretty dire. I mean, China says it will immediately retaliate, and basically a lot of people are saying that if the U.S. does increase those tariffs on Friday, that means talks have broken down. Does it change your near-term projections and plans for the China market? We know you got a recent approval, at least, for the majority-owned securities company. You have other irons in the fire, whether it be in the corporate bank or private banking as well in China. Jamie Dimon wants the moniker on a 100% owned bank here in China. So how does it, in the near term, affect your plans?
Well, it will definitely affect the markets. I mean, if the talks break down, we're likely to expect a hit in the markets, but that doesn't really affect our investment plans. We don't have like investment plans that are near term. I mean, most of what we do are thinking, 5-10 years down the road. I mean, we look at the markets, and independently of what happens, we have today a $20 trillion, let's say, capital market in the country, and if I look 10-15 years down the road, there'll probably be another $100 trillion, of assets that's going to be accumulated in both the debt and equity capital markets. So it's a great opportunity, and as I mentioned, even if there's a breakdown, I would expect that at some point that then they'll make up again, and then there'll be an issue again. So it'll be a rocky path for many, many years to come.
Now, how confident are you that you will get this securities license? You have a license. You've got an approval, but you have to get the license, and then you also need, I believe, approval throughout the provinces.
Yeah, well, we got the pre-approval, and something that is very important, because a lot of people call it this security. You have going to do a securities joint venture and all that. Very important. We call it our securities company. We don't call it a securities ventures because, as you know, we'll have 51% initially, with the objective to go towards 100%.
By 2021 is the roadmap that the
roadmap is around 3 years, and clearly this is something that has been pre-discussed with our partners. We don't have any partner that is engaged in the financial industry, and therefore these are just financial investors that came in with us with an understanding that they will be exiting over time as we go to 100%. But clearly, this is not a joint venture with another player. This is rather a securities company that we enter together with some other investors.
Are those other key cornerstone investors pretty much lined up?
Yes, that's done. It's been announced and everything.
Shanghai International Trust seeking as well to sell a 2% stake. This is the news that broke this morning in its mutual fund management joint venture that you have with them. You have 49%. Right. This was set up in 2014. So in the mutual fund management space, I think about a year ago, JPMorgan said you are looking to take majority control.
Correct.
So is this 2% just a formality that JPMorgan is going to be buying that 2% to take majority control?
Yeah, it's part of the same announcement that took place a few months ago, whereby we said we're setting up the securities companies, we're negotiating and looking forward to acquire a controlling stake in the fund management company, CIFM. And that process, once again, similar to the securities industry, our ultimate objective would be that over time we would have, a fully integrated business across all the financial offering.
Because you talked as well in February, I believe, about an onshore private bank here in China. Where are we on that?
Yeah. Well, as you develop a securities company with the ability to do investment banking, research, brokerage, it makes sense to start thinking what other businesses can tie into that. what are the things? Today we provide services offshore to Chinese individuals that want to bank offshore outside of China. As we get significant presence offshore, it makes a lot of sense to start thinking, well, maybe we can provide services and give them a lot of those, securities, brokerages, research and all that to onshore wealth investors.
Where are the big Asian families looking to invest right now under your private banking job now?
Mm-hmm. Well, they typically, we have a goals-based approach that what we try to do is to understand what their objectives are, and this is important. I mean, some have liquidity objectives, capital preservation, growth objectives, and so it really depends. But clearly what they want is they want to see, what are the special deals out there? What are the deals where I can, try to get significant growth that may not be available to everyone. And clearly, given the strength of our investment banking platform around the world, we've been for the last 10 years the largest investment bank in the world. There's a lot of benefit of our critical mass and our ability to understand what's going on around the world, and therefore we can present opportunities fundamentally around technology, healthcare. Those are very interesting sectors that people are looking at.